Hi, so for today's craft, we're going to be making needle books. And I've only found out what these are recently myself. And what it is just a little book that houses all of your needles, pins, and whatever you want, safety pins, and keeps it in this nice little book. And the purpose of it is like if you quilt or say you don't sew much, but you do need needles for like if your button falls off or something, you do need to have like needle and thread, right? And this just keeps it in a nice little pouch. So this is actually a great gift for sewers and non-sewers, I think. And yeah, I've only found out about that recently. Before, I would keep my needles or my sewing needles in here attached to a string so I can find it, and it was kind of a mess because the string gets all, you know, bunched up. Or like you might have it in a pin cushion, but the problem with that is that if it goes all the way through without a thread, it's like lost in there. And this is a really old one, so I know I've lost a couple in here already. And so yeah, this is just another cute option. And I've seen some videos on this, but they all kind of look like old lady-ish, like quilted, you know. So I thought I would do like a cute twist on it. And then I just had these scraps. So if you watch my sunglass case video and you made that, you probably have the exact same scraps, perfect size. So my scrap size is about 3 inches by 8 inches, just shy of 8 inches, because that's how it came. And this is perfect to make this. I'm just adjusting the size so that I can use my scraps, but you can make it however big or small you want. You just want it to be, you know, the length of the needles, of course. And for the inside, I'm using felt, just regular, like kind of craft felt. This one I actually use like spandex because I had some spandex like scraps. I cut up a pair of yoga pants for a different project that I'll do a video on later, but that's why I have spandex in this one. I think the felt will work better because the spandex is a little like loose, but any material really that doesn't fray. So the spandex doesn't fray, but it does curl up a little bit. But the felt will be perfect. And so my measurements for this is going to be 3 by 8, but then we're going to cut off 1 inch. So let's see if I can do this on camera. Oh, and you also need some snaps. This kit I bought on Amazon, I think it was $20. And it has pretty much everything you need. And all the links will be down below if there are links for stuff. So because this is a scrap, I'm just gonna clean it up a little bit. I do want it to be 3 inches perfectly in height. Or at least straight. It doesn't have to be 3 inches, but just straight. So that when you fold it over, it makes a nice little booklet. Okay, so I just cleaned that up. I think this bottom part could be cleaned up also. I got this rotary cutter set on Amazon, and this is the best thing ever also. We'll link it down below. So I'm going to be making 2 pretty much of the same thing. I don't know, just because I have 3 scraps. Okay, and then I'm going to cut 1 inch off the edge. And I will show you why in a little bit. So the reason why I'm cutting off 1 inch is because, well, first of all, with it on, it was a little bit of an odd size. Like this would be too long for a needle book. So what we're going to do, because you do need a little bit of space for the cam snap, we're going to put this in the middle. And you can do either shiny side up or down. It's more subtle with it down, but like in this book, I have it down. And what this does is it just makes it a little bit more stable. Because you have needles in here, you don't want to, like, you know, if you squish it, you don't want to get poked or whatever. And this actually makes it a lot harder to squish. Like you can probably squish it over here, but at least over here it is very stable. What we're gonna do is just align this piece in the middle and pin it. So this is about 7 inches. So we're just gonna put this at the 3.5 mark. So do I want it to be, I guess, face down is better. Okay, so the vinyl is good. I already cut my felt, and the felt pieces are 2.5 inches high by 5 inches wide. And I cut 2 pieces for each book. So 4 pieces total. And you can do 1 piece if you want. It's up to you. I just liked how it could hold more things, you know, with 4 sheets, and super simple. We're just gonna line them up. If 1 piece is just slightly bigger, put it on the outside, because you know, like a book, it's going to be folded in, and then clip it right in the center. So it does help to have this like board underneath, because you can see exactly where the middle is, the 3.5 line, and you want it to be nice. Just because this is vinyl and it's clear, you'll be able to see through. So you want to have the edges neat. That looks good. So just gonna clip it. Same thing for this one. Okay, now super simple. We're just gonna sew right through. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a stitch right down the middle on my largest stitch setting 4, because we are sewing through vinyl. And I'm just gonna go from the very top to the very bottom. So just be careful when the felt moves. You want to have it like flat, but don't sew your finger. So one thing to note is, I notice when I'm making these, the felt tends to move down a little. Like, say I started up here and the felt ended up down here. So for this one, I'm starting the felt just a tiny bit, like a millimeter higher on this side. So just lift your foot up and maybe adjust the felt as needed. Okay, so we have these 2 done, and you know, I wish I sewed it like perfectly where I don't have to adjust it, but if you are like me and things are not like even, just go ahead and fold it up and cut it. You probably won't even notice, because once you put the needles in, it kind of, I don't know, makes it all different sizes anyways. But if you want the book to have a nice clean, you know, folded look, this is the easiest way. So fold it up from the seam, nice and even, and trim. So the next step is the snaps. Okay, I think I'll do white for this one, and then for this one, maybe I will go with this and use a hard one. So I have my snap press already set to the size for the plastic snaps. So with the snaps, you need the male and a female side, as well as a rounded edge and a heart. You can also mix and match these too if you want to go crazy. And this one is just all round caps. So now we're going to find the seam, fold it all the way down, and line it up evenly. If it helps you, you can also clip it because it is kind of wide and wants to move around. And then make sure the ends are nice. And if your ends don't line up, just go ahead and trim. You do want it to be nice and even. Okay, so when you look at the snap, it's about 1/2 inch big. So right now I'm just gonna line it up between these 3 inches. And that makes it really easy to find the halfway point plus 1/2 inch in right up there. And you can really just poke this through both layers at one time. Then you're for sure putting it in the same spot. So for the front, we're going to put the heart. And I'll just have it, you can have it either facing this way or you can have it face in or out. I think I'll just do it like that. So position it how you want it. And then I'm going to put the male piece on and then push it all the way down as much as you can. If you don't push it all the way down, it might not work well. Okay. So you just put it into the press with the smooth side or the heart piece going down. And then press as hard as you can. There we go. And then you have the hole already made, so you're going to put the smooth cap through all the way in, and then the female part facing up. And same thing, push it all the way down. And you can test it out a couple times, okay? And then now I think the hardest part to me is making it flat and even on all sides. And I'm just going to round out the corners by hand. Okay, keep it even and do the other side. Okay, so that looks good. And then we're done. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the other one. So fold it all the way in half. And then clip. You make sure it's straight. And then trim off the excess. And then I'm going to put it on this ruler here at the 3-inch mark, or between these 3 inches, and then 1/2 inch in. To push all the way down, I'm going to put the nail snap in, and then press. So this snaps well. This is the felt hitting it a little bit, so I think I'm going to trim up the felt a little after. Let me see, this part's a little crooked. That's the awesome thing about working with vinyl. Like, you just cut it and it's totally fine. Okay, now I'm just going to round out the edge. Okay. And then I'm going to trim up the felt just a tiny bit so that it's not touching the button. It's like cutting hair. You just keep going and going and going. See, why am I keep cutting it crooked? All right, last chance. Okay, before it gets too short, right? Okay, that's way better. So let's try to put some needles in just for fun. I'll just put some of these pins in. So you can go through 2 layers if you want, or just 1 layer. Totally up to you. Just doing this for show. And then if you want, in my other book, I put some wonder clips in here too. So I just folded it down and then maybe put a couple. And because there's a snap and there's a lot of room in here, it's fine to put the clips too. So let's try this one. Put a couple pins. And also safety pins are good in here. Because you know, sometimes you need a safety pin to turn something right side out or something. This actually reminds me of those like sewing kits you get, you know, like in the hotel and stuff. It's like make your own little sewing kit. But yeah, so thanks for watching, and I hope you try this like modern take on the old school needle book. I think it's such a good gift for anyone really. Make your own sewing kit. You can even leave that in your purse if you need it. If you happen to need sewing kits a lot. I know I used to hold one in my bag. I don't know why. I never needed it, or needed it one time. I lost a button once and it came in handy. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. So one last bonus tip. If you do a lot of hand sewing, you're gonna need a thimble. You think you don't need one, but really you do. So if you have one and you want to somehow like put it in here, I was just going to get one of these sheets and roll it up in here. And this one is silicone, so it kind of stays well. And then just close it. And then it doesn't fall out either. And let me try it in the felt. Because this one is like that spandexy, kind of stretchy material. I'm pretty sure it will work with felt also. So since I have this and this, I will roll it up in the felt and close the book. Yeah, I think it's in there pretty good. If you have the metal one, it might be slipperier. I don't know. Maybe you could safety pin it in, or put a safety pin on both sides after you roll it up. You know, you can put safety pin here and here, or pin since it's in here anyways. Or the clip. Oh, the clips would really work if you have the slippery kind of thimble. I don't know, these are just ideas because you want to keep everything together. Yeah, that would totally work too. It won't fly out and you can throw it in your bag. But yeah, bonus tip. That's it. Thanks. Now I know how to live life with a smile on my face. Nothing ever stays the same. There's always room for better days.